Let's take a look and break down my pass on Alejandro Sanchez in last weekend's Porsche Tagway Esports Super Cup. So obviously whenever trying to set up a pass or trying to get a pass done on anyone, the most important thing is to always remember to set up your move, figure out where your opponent is weak and where you might be able to attack. So here we're on lap 2. The pass wasn't made until lap 8, but this was a very, very crucial point in me knowing and kind of getting a rough understanding of where I could attack him, and obviously how maybe I was going to mount this charge. So here through this last chicane, get a nice run off here, and he immediately goes to defend the right hand side. Now this to me, in testing, we saw a lot of the time that it was quite easy to force someone into a slight mistake to outbrake themselves a little bit. Here we're going to try and do a similar thing, but also at the same time I wasn't necessarily ever trying to go for a move here. I'm trying to just get information to help myself later on in terms of knowing how I can attack this. So here we make the slight move to the right until we are roughly directly behind, and then we move immediately back to the left. Now this is very close to the beginning of the braking zone, so here we can see already that what he's actually doing, when I end up behind him, he makes a slight adjustment and straightens the car out a little bit. Now this is him reacting to my attempt at a pass, or what he thought was my attempt at a pass. And because this is so close to the beginning of the braking zone as well, usually you can force someone into a mistake because of that. Obviously here though, he held his ground. He didn't make a mistake, but it still showed me that, okay, when he's going to defend, he's not going to cover all the way over to the white line on the right hand side, and it opens up a possibility, or at least an opportunity, to try and make something work there. We see here eventually I end up trying to go around the outside just to get a feeling of what can and can't work here, but ultimately at the end of the day, this attempt at a pass in lap 2 was really all just about gaining information. We can see we're a little bit closer coming into the chicane now, focusing on the exit as much as we can. Obviously we need to set that up. Now he knows I've got a really strong exit here, and very similar to lap 2, he's done the exact same thing and positioned the car to the right hand side in exactly the same place as what he did. Now here, his mistake here is it's very predictable. I can see what he's doing and I know what he's going to do afterwards. So here, in this case, instead, obviously I pull back to the right just like I did last time, but instead of faking it, moving back to the left, I go all the way over to the right hand side and position the car on the white line. Now this, from the last time, I knew that that he wasn't going to cover all the way over to the right hand side, so there was always going to be that car width space. We can see that he moved over to the right just the tiniest little bit in the initial part of the braking zone to try and cover it off, but at this point it's just too late, and I'm able to get the overlap down the inside to run the car just a tiny little bit deep, slow it up in the apex and focus on traction as much as I can to try and ensure that I'm out of his attack range for the final turn. But basically the only reason this pass was possible was because of what I did on lap 2 to gain that information and give myself an idea of, okay, what's comfortable of doing and what's not. That's been a breakdown of my pass on Sanchez in the last round of the Porsche Tagway Esports Super Cup. It was a good weekend for me, and hopefully we can have just as good a one next time and pull off some nice passes like this one again.